Okay, so at this point now I've completed the crochet reinforcement on the other side, and all I did was turn the sweater around starting from the hem going up to the collar and just repeating the exact same steps as I did on the left side. And you can see that you can still see my orange center line. So this is the line that I'm going to cut just through that one row of stitches. Yeah, so that's all done. It looks great. I feel great about the hook size. So now the next step is to pick up for the button band. I mentioned before that since this pattern wasn't written specifically to Steek, it's not exactly quite in the middle. I've got a little bit more space on the left-hand side than on the right side here down at the hem. And then same thing on the right side, I've got a little bit more space on the collar than I do on the left side here. So considering that for the button band, I'm going to even it out by picking up stitches on the adjacent stockinette column on each side. So for the right hand side, I'm going to pick up the stitches on the left hand side of the right column. This is the column to the right, the left hand side column of stockinette stitches, and then on this side, on the left side, I'm going to pick up the right hand side column of stockinette stitches. So I'm going to use a size 5 needle. This is a 16 inch, the same size needle that I used for the hem ribbing, for the cuffs, and for the collar. So I'm going to use the size 5 and pick up on the right side first, which is going to be the left side of the garment when it's worn, because this button band just needs to be knit. It doesn't need buttonholes. The buttonholes are going to go on the left hand side, the right hand side when worn. So I'm going to show you how I pick up stitches on this side first. So basically I'm just going to slip into this loop, the bottom loop on the stockinette, and swing around to pick up the next one in the column, the next one, I'm just going to continue that all the way up. So for this project, I'm going to pick up 56 stitches, and just to give you a quick little rundown of how I figured that out, the gauge for the Finley Marlene is 21 stitches and 30 rows over 4 inches, which translates to approximately 5 stitches in 1 inch. My measurement from the collar to the hem is 11 inches, which means I would pick up 55 stitches for the button band. Since the pattern runs in a 2x2 rib, I'm going to make that 56 stitches. So using that method that I showed you, now I'm going to finish picking up for the right side button band. Here I have picked up 56 stitches. You can see them on my needle. It didn't work for me to use or to pick up every single stitch, and when I did every other stitch it was not enough. So I went almost every stitch and then just sort of skipped a few in between. I'm sure there's probably some really cool math or some experienced person's tutorial that shows a much more even or precise way of picking up stitches or how to calculate how to pick up stitches, but that's just the way I did it. I just kind of freeballed it. I hope you vibe with me on that. And so to get started, we're going to join the yarn at the top, and since I'm working this right side first, to maintain the right side of the button band flopping over this way, we're going to join yarn at the top, at the collar. So then when I pick up for the button band on the bottom, I will flip it around and join yarn at the bottom. So I probably should have chosen longer than a 16. As you can tell, a little short, but I'm just gonna bunch it up and just go for it. So here I'm going to join yarn at the top and then just continue that 2x2 rib down the edge, all the way down to the bottom. And just like that. So when I get all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to turn my work just as if I was working anything else flat, and I'm going to finish the button.